How y'all doing? This is your boy. This one is going to be fairly simple and straightforward. And that is, what the hell does Bigfoot do with those that have passed on? Basically, what the hell happens, as in where do they put their bodies? I believe very firmly that they probably bury their dead, at least to a degree. There have been rumors that maybe they eat their own and all kinds of stuff. It's possible, because I'll be honest with you. Certain hominoids, I'm talking about before us, such as Neanderthal, for example, they ate their dead. And that is known, especially during times of hardships and things like that. It's pretty much you're literally, even in your final, bit of time on this earth, or afterward, I should say, you're literally giving back to the family or the tribe. There's nothing evil in their minds. It's literally, they're doing what they have to for sustenance. And to me, I would think it's possible that Bigfoot does the same. You have to understand, there are so many variants of these creatures that, just like with different variants of human beings that you have now. Who the hell knows? But I do believe very firmly that they most likely bury their dead. And people are wondering, well, if that's the case, why haven't we found bones? Why haven't we found remains? Oh, simple. Number one, Uncle Sam ain't wanting to. That's the big thing. And also you have to take into consideration something to really think about. The national park system, yes, was meant to, I firmly believe, and of course common sense tells you, they're called, how can I say this? The national forest system was meant naturally to preserve wildlife and, of course, keep animals from being hunted to extinction and all that. Yeah, of course. It was meant, it was set up to protect our forests from criminal activity and different types of things. That speaks for itself. But you also have to understand something else. I believe I believe that system was put into place to do more than just protect wildlife. I think it was meant to protect secrets. I think the higher-ups, of course, probably know about this, but your average Joe, whether it be a park ranger or some type of other enforcer, probably ain't going to know much of anything. At least not beyond the norm, except old stories and maybe a wild, tall tale or two. But I do believe that that is one of the things that definitely has kept the remains of Bigfoot from being found. Like I said, of course, you definitely have military and, this is like the Smithsonian and things like that keep that type of activity from happening as well. Someone finds something, many times they're either threatened or bribed to keep their mouth shut. Maybe a little bit of both. And of course, they don't. They're either made to look like an idiot or they're killed outright. It's just how it is. I'm not saying it's right, and I think it's disgusting, but it is how things go. You have to understand something. It's very important that you guys do understand this. If anybody found out that you have anywhere from an 8 to 10 foot hominoid living in the woods, very intelligent, and it can pretty much pop your neck like a pimple, and probably has done that with more than one individual who's come across them, you're talking about mass panic and, a lot of our economy going down the drain right there. You just really have to take these things into account. Also, I think the other reason is Bigfoot itself. There was a movie, I think it was soft disclosure in its own way, or pretty much people that just got a little more, maybe they just hit the nail on the head in certain ways, or just got very creative. But either way, it was a low-budget movie. It was called Sasquatch Hunter or Hunters. I may do a review on that in the future. But anyway, in this movie, it was pretty much about these individuals that literally disturbed sacred ground with a pack or tribe of Bigfoot. And quite literally, the Bigfoot weren't too happy about it. They started picking off the people one by one, doing what they did best in this movie, and that was basically kill the intruders. And you can't really blame them one bit. So I think that's also another situation. Hell, look at Dark Water's story about Siege of Locker Ranch. There was a scene about that, literally where supposedly they set, or I think it was Indian tribes that set the dog man to fight Bigfoot, because, again, sacred ground, and they weren't too thrilled about that. There was a war between the two species. So you really have to take that into account. I do believe Bigfoot is, other than Uncle Sam, the main reason that their remains ain't found. They're intelligent. These creatures are smart as us, at least. In some ways, smarter when it comes to survival. So you really, really have to take into account. I believe that is another reason that we have not found a body or some kind of proof of Bigfoot when it comes to that. Sasquatch itself. The third reason is, of course, human stupidity. And what I mean by that is simple. Hoaxers. Idiots. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. And what I mean by this is a very simple thing. What happens when you have hoaxers in the community? And believe me, you have them. And of course, the community loves to devour itself, moving past that. Simple. You have people that get discouraged and disgusted, and when they find something, it's like, oh, that's fake or whatever. Because you have so many people with egos, and of course, again, hoaxing and just outright human stupidity that has detracted from the proof that's out there. There's another reason. I firmly believe that we have not found a body, and we won't anytime soon. Now, don't get me wrong. In this new day and age, we're going to see wonders like with technology, AI, both good and bad with that. Congratulations, you're part of the Borg. You've been assimilated. But my point is, I don't think we're going to be finding proof of Bigfoot anytime soon when it comes to that. So, that's just how it is, unfortunately, guys. Now, would I love to see something like that? Yeah, man. I mean, ever since I was a little boy, I think I told you guys, I saw Harry and the Hendersons. I was hooked on Bigfoot ever since then. Now, I've never seen any proof, but I've seen enough and come across people when it comes to other stories and encounters and people I know who aren't liars to believe that something exists. And of course, you guys already know, I've seen a shitload of paranormal stuff, so something's out there, I'll tell you that. So leave it at that, guys. There's something. But unfortunately, as for right now, I don't think we're going to find too much of anything until it's time. And what I mean by that is pretty much when the Lord allows it. And of course, all in His time. That means, of course, when our government decides, hey, maybe it's time to let people know that we have a very large hominoid creature that's definitely more than some ape. That's right on par with us human beings, maybe in some ways beyond, for good or bad. Another theory is that some of these creatures aren't physical. And what I mean by this is you have fallen entities that love to, as I said before, when it comes to cryptids, they're either something that is natural, cooked up in a lab, or something paranormal. So, I mean, I'm not going to say everything's Nephilim or fallen, but there's enough of that craziness that seems to point in that direction to definitely say that I believe there's certain entities that are not necessarily pure physical, that are impersonating these creatures to get people's attention. And other sorts of affairs going on. And it's possible that these creatures themselves are connected to something beyond. At least some variants of them are. And that, of course, that explains for itself, and it goes back to, again, Bigfoot itself ain't one to be found. And you won't, because, again, you're dealing with a creature everybody as smart as us, maybe more in certain ways. So that's really all I have to say, but I've always found it fascinating as to why Bigfoot was never really, their bodies were never found, haven't been found, and I don't think they will be, at least not anytime soon. But it's something that I definitely thought needed to be brought up. It's been something I've been planning on doing for a while, so there you go. You guys know what I do. I produce for Dark Waters Entertainment. If you've had your own kind of affair going on, hit me up at Westvic at IamDarkWaters.com. You guys be blessed and you be safe.